Commissioner, as we say, we're here at Cambridge, one of the oldest, one of the best community centers in all of Clark County here in District E. It really is a true neighborhood gem. And I know, talking with the people here, they're really excited. They've got a new floor, got that carpet out of there, and have a new floor here. Talk about this place a little bit.
This is, we renamed it in honor of recognition of Myrna Williams Torme, actually after she left the County Commission. So this is kind of her area and project, and out of respect for that. But it's been so heavily used. This area here, which is very challenging, is probably one of the highest concentration of children in poverty and parents in poverty. And so the fact that we have the dance studio, it's well used. The workout rooms are well used. We have lots of performances. We have summer camp for the kids. We have the swimming pool. We try to do things that the community can use. But over the years, our floor, we had some flooding issues with our wood floor in the gym. That's been replaced. And then taking up all the carpet, which was just rank, and it didn't belong really with the amount of foot traffic that you have. So the staff's all thrilled. They said they just have a few more doors to paint, and then we're all good to go. So maintaining this will now be the next agenda. Next door, though, is Mulaski Park, and it's a kind of a passive park. So we surveyed the neighborhood over a year ago, and we're putting a small baseball field in part of the park, and then redoing the dog run, or the running track, and then the dog park area. We're working with Metro to make sure that we don't create obstacles or more places for the homeless to have to camp out as well. So that's part of what we're doing on the design. It won't be lighted, but it'll be useful for the kids in the neighborhood. The school, Peterson Elementary, would then be able to avail themselves of it, as well as Orr Middle School, which is just down the street.
And how about your other parks in this area, Commissioner? I know you said something about the Lewis Family Park.
To me, Lewis Family Park needs to be completely rebuilt. It's as heavily used as this park, if not more so. And right now, though, we're trying to at least get the track redone. But we have issues with the watering, the spray, the way that landscaping was done years ago. It actually degrades the trail, and unless I redo it, you really can't get at that part of it. So I have asked staff if we find any additional money in capital to really take a look at rebuilding the complete Lewis Family Park in toto. But in the meantime, we're putting some crosswalk striping there that the parents have asked for, just because things just got worn down over a period of time. But your heavily used parks, you want to make sure we stay up with them. And in the downturn, we haven't had any funding. In the county this budget year, we're actually going to have maybe 30 million, but you have 7 commissioners and all of us have needs, so you have to respect that. It's just that the east side of town is it's the best part of town, but it's also the older part. And so our roads are the oldest, our parks are the oldest, all our facilities are heavily used, our social services next door, all those things take money to maintain. And so that's part of what we're trying to work on, trying to find financing for that. So I've asked for the county to entertain a bond to actually go out and finish our parks, and especially our regional parks like Hollywood, finish up Desert Breeze. So we've got, Hollywood's been there for 25 years that they've had a plan, and other than me getting the swimming pool in, we really haven't been able to add any more amenities, and the families out there really, really need it, and they deserve it, and they were promised it, and so I'm trying to find the financing through a bonding mechanism to help with that.
What would you like to see at Hollywood, Commissioner?
We surveyed the parents again, and they want more areas for picnicking with covered places. They want a walking run, so we did apply for a SNPLMA grant for that to see if we can get a walking run with them, that they could do a trail system on the property that's not been developed. They want amphitheater. They want some wanted tennis. So we need to expand the workout room there. It's over capacity right now. Adding some additional rooms. It's like what we're doing at Winchester as well. Winchester is a jewel. It's the only cultural center in all of Clark County. So I'm trying to get money at this next board meeting to redo the amphitheater because it's well used as far as the community. We need a better sound system. The seating is old. All that part of it, plus they're blowing out and adding 2 more rooms to it as well, just for facility uses that we have. We have Tai Chi there, we have dance club, we have a lot of activities going on, and the seniors across the street like to use that facility as well. One thing I am looking at doing is, once we rebuild that portion, is asking the board to consider renaming the Winchester Cultural Center after Thalia Dondero. There is nothing named after Thalia, and she was one of the first female county commissioners. She did a lot for culture Center in Arts and Education, so I think it would be fitting. So I told the family I was going to take a look at doing that, and they're thrilled if we can do that.
Delia was a terrific woman, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope to save this for a little bit after, but while we're speaking about Winchester, there's another gentleman there, Mr. Patrick Jaffe, I believe, was a fixture there for some 20 years. Yes. That's a big hole in our arts and humanities program. Mr. Jaffe did a terrific job for all of us here in the county.
Patrick is a gem, and he just emailed me because, he retired, and Jane Pike is retiring, our Director of Parks and Recreation, and so we're losing some of that talent, that passion, but I think there's enough young people. Irma hopefully is applying for that position. She'll be great. She came back. She had been reassigned for a while, but she's back at Winchester. But Patrick's, when he worked with me that I was able to bring to fruition the public arts program that the county never had before. The Public Arts Commission meets there at Winchester. They judge and decide the projects that we're doing around the valley. They're a tremendous asset, so I hope Patrick will stay engaged with that. He assisted me in putting the Poet Laureate program together, so I relied on him a lot. So he said he'd still let me be a soundboard. I can pick up the phone or email him, and I will do that.
Sounds like he will be still around,
he will
obviously.
Be missed,
yes.
But yes.
And also zapped and centered a couple other public arts programs that you and have both been very big champions of.
Yes, the ZAP program we actually did all around this about 4 years ago. It's phenomenal. The kids help design. They talk with the artists about how did you come up with that, and even some of the artists let them paint some of the boxes, and they've not been tagged. It's really trying to beautify our areas a piece at a time. So taking those water boxes and some of the traffic boxes really is a component to public art. And then along Maryland Parkway corridor, we got a grant through the NEA, and we hired Bunnyfish. Patrick put that together, and they did a scenario of looking at public art all down Maryland Parkway, across from the university all the way down to Sunrise Hospital. So that's in the works, in the mix as well.
Let's continue our talk then a little bit about Maryland Parkway. There have been many studies, some public input, and lots of meetings and things like that. Southern Nevada Strong Regional Plan, looking at all those things, what you just mentioned, as well as public transportation and walkability and other things. What would you like to see Maryland Parkway look like, Commissioner?
Oh, I would like wider sidewalks, places for families to be able to sit, places for dogs to be walked, bicyclists to be able to safely get at least to and from. I don't know if, putting them in conflict with the traffic. I want light rail on Maryland all the way from the airport to North Las Vegas, but what we did a fallback position to urban light rail. So it's still a bus, but it looks like a train, and it moves differently through the traffic. So if I can get that on, we're in the middle of the EIS studies with the federal government, then we can start seeking some grants. Then the Bunnyfish component adds that element. We've got all the wooden poles. Some of them need to come down. I'm working with NV Energy because they're incompatible with ADA guidelines, especially the 4 or 5 across from the university system. So if I can get those down, that will make it safer for the disabled to be able to get across. We have to upgrade our sidewalks as far as that's concerned. So I want to see public art all the way around. I want to see community gardens. I'm actually working on a program here to put one at Peterson and one at Orr Middle School so that we're doing gardening, but I'm going to work with our apartment complexes and see if we can start to put some of the green space in there as well, because I have no other parks other than Mulaski.
We talked with one of your colleagues, Commissioner Kirkpatrick, and I know you're probably involved with the community gardens as well. Super successful out near Nellis Air Force Base. That commissioner says she hopes to expand it to a number of other elementary schools. Would you like to see that as well?
Absolutely. In fact, every school that now comes in from the Clark County School District for a planning, many of them are trying to get rid of the portables and adding construction. So at Robert E. Lake or any of those, I'm requiring that they have to have a garden. We've found the funding to help pay for that through cooperative extension. We're working then with Green Art Planet with Kiara, and who's worked with Commissioner Kirkpatrick. And then we're going to work with the chefs to teach the kids actually how to, not only how to grow, but how to prepare meals with that. So it's it's a job potential. We have food deserts here. So those are the types of things that we're trying to do, is by building a community in the long run, you actually help bring people out of poverty, but you also beautify an area, make it safer for them, and make them prideful of their area. And then there may be more of an intent to keep up what we do.
With a great school lesson all the way from planting to harvesting to selling or eating.
Eating, yeah. See, what they do in some places is the kids then sell the product like through a farmer's market, and they put that maybe into a scholarship fund. There's different things. So After School All-Stars, I'm on that board. They're at Orr. They're going to come back to Orr Middle School, so that'll be a linkage that we do there. They do Media All-Stars, but we do programming, and so by incorporating the community or the school garden into that programming, it'll be better for the kids as well. Then they can take product home to their parents over the weekend. You don't have to go to Vons, with no disrespect to Vons, but you teach them about spinach and zucchini and how to prepare that so that it's not wasted either.